The senior center is an early voting spot. Many of you have already been down here. But we are open. I mean, the senior center is open for the voting, but the voting is taking place until through, I guess, October 30th. So Saturdays and Sundays, we are open from 10 to 2 for voting. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, they're open from 8 to 4:30, and Tuesdays, they're open 8 to 7. Friday, which will be the last day, they'll only be open from 8 to 2. So come and take advantage of the early voting. It's a really great opportunity to get your vote in early. I already did mine. I hope, Lisa, you got yours already in, and saves having to go to the polls on voting day. Up, you're frozen there, Lisa. Good morning. Are you in? Up, I think Lisa's going to up. I think she's there. Oh, she's glitching a little bit, but Lisa, while you move, I'll go on and talk about a few things that we have going on. We do have a very special program coming up on Monday, and we hope you take advantage of it. It's called Halloween Happenings. It's here at the Senior Center. It's in our parking lot. We are, if you want to come dressed up in costume, we'd love to see you. We'd take some pictures. But other than that, the treats that we have is we do have some apple crisp and some cute little pumpkins that have been decorated and painted by the scouts in town. So Lisa, do you have anything else to add to that?
I'm frozen.
I know you froze. Are you still frozen?
I don't know. So we have a book meeting today. If anybody interested in coming to talk about what you've been reading, we will have you just call center and can hook you up with a link, give you a phone number to call in.
And that's a phone in thing. So you don't have to be Zoom. You can just call in and talk with others who are reading books and maybe get a few ideas.
Yes, absolutely. TED Talk Monday at 12, which is great. Just watch a 20-minute with us, discuss it afterwards. So that's interesting. See everybody's going on things. We do Thanksgiving lunch on Wednesday 18th. So if you're interested in a church, just give a call at the senior and we can sign up for that. And so the puzzles coming in November. It is going to jigsaw puzzle season.
And Lisa, I'm going to stop you just for a minute because you're still glitching a little bit. But I did want to mention, so Lisa brought up the puzzles. We are offering that again in November and December and probably throughout the winter. As long as we have a supply of puzzles, we'll be able to loan them out and give you something new to do when you're stuck at home. I know that's one of my favorite things to do on a cold night in front of the wood stove. Just put out a puzzle, and unfortunately I stay up a little too late doing them. So, but the other part is Lisa's still doing her walking group. And Lisa, we can keep trying. I don't know if you're glitchy or if you want to try and talk about it.
I'll try. Just let me know if I'm glitching.
You're working now.
Okay. So yeah, every Monday is, if anybody wants to walk, just give a call. Monday morning, 9 to 10. As long as the weather's good and somebody wants to walk, I'm more than happy to go for a walk with you.
I may have to join you because I'm not getting those afternoon walks anymore. So
I know, when it's going to start getting dark earlier after.
I know. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Well, great, Lisa. Thank you. Do you have anything else, or?
I think that's enough for now.
Okay. So remember, everybody, keep an eye out for your newsletter. The November-December is a double issue. It'll be coming at once. So don't throw them away at the end of November because they've got December information for you. And as Lisa said, we have a Thanksgiving dinner coming up in October and a holiday dinner coming up in November, excuse me. Thanksgiving in November, the holiday in December. There we go. I can't keep track of time anymore.
The months are all just kind of rolling together, unfortunately.
They really are. When I think that we're almost to the end of October, I'm a little confused. So anyway.
Did you want to see what's cooking today, or do you have time for that?
Well, you know what? what's cooking you mean for lunch? Sure. If you want to take us in to take a
Sure.
quick peek. Lisa's talking about our lunch set program that we have Tuesday through Friday. And so Friday, I think she's going to take a look in the kitchen and see
All
what.
right, we get Zara in here. Let's see what's cooking today.
It's fish tacos.
Fish tacos today. What kind of fish? Haddock. Awesome. It smells really good.
Oh, fish tacos are one of my favorites.
Awesome. All right. I think that's it for me.
Well, and last week we asked the question, and we'll ask our guests this morning the same question. Favorite comfort food? Have you come up with something besides mac and cheese this week?
Oh, you're asking us.
I will be.
Oh, all right.
Lisa, you can't come up with something else? I'll tell you what, I made something this week that was really, really good, and I think it's one of my new comfort foods. It's a shepherd's pie, but I made it with lamb, and it was really good. And I told you I make a really mean mashed potato, so this was really good. So everybody out there, if you could think of your favorite comfort foods, we want to hear from you, and we'll be asking this again next week. But this morning I have two other guests with us who, well, actually, Lisa, I don't know if you want to sign off and say goodbye, but please give Lisa a call. She's missing all of you.
I am missing you very much. Take care. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you.
So this morning we are very lucky to have two firemen with us, and I hope I'm saying that properly, but I have Tim Healy, who is the Fire Prevention Officer, and I have Jim Frederick, who is the Community Risk Reduction Liaison. That's a mouthful, but good morning, both of you. How are you both?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Good thing.
Great. So I finished with Lisa asking comfort food. Do you guys have a comfort food that's your favorite? Putting you on the spot here.
Yeah, Jim, you go first.
Chocolate is always the comfort food.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
True.
I don't know about comfort food, but I know my favorite food is it's a strange one. Jim, you're gonna laugh. My favorite food is nectarine.
Ooh.
So yeah, I really like.
You went for the healthy stuff. Come on. Chocolate sounds much more exciting, but I have to ask Jim, is that dark, milk, white? What kind of chocolate? Did you have a favorite?
Definitely dark chocolate. That's my favorite.
Okay, so I bought my little Dove chocolates at Target yesterday, so I have my snacks, but don't tell my family because they raid them. So anyway, thank you for both coming on this morning. What have you got for us today? You've got a lot of things going on and a lot of programs that are geared to help the whole community, but also some that are kind of special for seniors. Do you want to let me know?
Yeah, so we'll start off with what we did last year, and what we did was we did go bags for some of the seniors, and that all came about from a call that we had. So we had a propane truck that tipped over, and it was leaking propane gas, and it was a lot of it, and we had to evacuate some houses in the area. So I was tasked with going to some of the houses to get the people out of there, and I knock on the door and I say, "Hey, this is Tim from the fire department. We got a gas leak, and you got to get out of your house right now." And so they would say, "Well, what do we take?" And I'm like, "You need to take whatever you think you need to take, but you got to take it now." So that is kind of what instigated the go bag. So what we developed was a bag that is like this. This is one of them right here. It's kind of got a logo on it. And so what's in it is things that you would need if you had to leave your home immediately. And it's just some stuff like a flashlight, phone charger, some emergency blanket stuff. There's a little bit of water and some food inside the bag, but it's really customizable too. So you're able to put in what you would need for your particular situation and just have it ready. So you'd have your medicine in there, some lists, and not just for you, for maybe for your pet too. So things that you'd really you'd need in a pinch if you had to leave your house.
So a spare set of keys potentially, and little things that you don't want to leave home without if you had to grab and go.
Right. If you have the time to just kind of sit down and think about what you'd really want, and you end up putting it in that bag, it saves a lot of time and a lot of worry if and when that happens. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like any kind of emergency that is like a fire or a gas leak. It could be something. It could be something different that you're not really potentially thinking about. So that's why we like the go bags.
So you mentioned lists, and I'm thinking you mean people, maybe contacts. So family members that if you needed to and you don't have it, because so many of us rely on our program phones. So if we're not
Yep.
sitting next to our phone, do we remember our son and daughter's numbers? I can tell you right now, I don't.
Right.
I rely on that phone. I think maybe I better start practicing all their phone numbers these days. But
Right.
I mean, those would be things that would be important to have in that bag because for you, or if someone else had to help you at any point.
Yeah, and if someone else lives in your house, you want their medicine list so you could hand it to somebody else. So that's certainly there's a lot of lists that could go in there that'd be helpful.
Great. And like I said, you have said you have a few more left.
I have a few more left. Yep, and so I'd love to get them into the hands of some seniors that want.
So how would they get them from you? Do they give you a call or should they call?
Yeah, I think they could call over to the fire station and just see if there's any more go bags left, and I could drop them off, or I could drop them at the senior center. So however you want to get it, I think we can accommodate it.
Okay. And the phone number for the non-emergency phone number for the fire department. Do you have that one?
Yeah, I think
Put you on the spot,
yeah, the number that you could use is 508-497-2323. That gets you into the automated system, and then you can maybe leave a message somewhere there.
Well, I'm impressed. You did that without having to pull up your phone and
Right. Don't call 911. That's the number everybody knows.
that's right. That's the emergency line. Great. And so I know that Jim has something to talk about as well. Morning, Jim.
Good morning, everybody. So we're talking about cooking safety a little bit this year because one of our biggest cooking days is coming up in about a month. Everybody's going to want to cook their turkey and all their vegetables and everything. So we've come up with and made approximately about 75 we'd love to give away to the seniors is put a lid on fires. So it's a little mitt. Plus we also have a cooking card, which talks about many tips about cooking around the stove top, like keeping your handles turned in. And if you have a grease fire, to put a lid on it, never throw water on it because it creates an explosion. And also with keeping the handles turned in, especially with all your grandchildren around, it helps prevent burns of the child when they try to reach up to the stove. So we have a bunch of these, and we also have a magnet, which comes inside the mitt, which can be put on your refrigerator, just kind of as a reminder. And this year, the NFPA, the National Fire Prevention Agency, has made their theme around cooking safety around the stove. So this is kind of in conjunction with that. And any senior that would like one can gladly call here to the station, and we'll get them delivered to them.
Right. And if they can't remember the number, they can always call the senior center and we'll put you in touch as far as the potholders, et cetera.
Right.
It's funny. I think you're right. People are home more, so maybe they're cooking more. And that's something to remember. There's so many safety things around that. And I know we've been cooking more in my house. So
I think everybody is in general because where everybody's kind of staying more homebound. They're doing a lot more cooking, which is great to see. And actually on back of the card itself, it has a recipe from one of the firefighters out in Holyoke that started designing some of this program. So it's kind of an interesting little thing.
So what's the hint on the recipe? Is anything good?
Oh, I'm going to try to say this. It's Guatemalan Taquitos is what it's called.
Ooh, that actually sounds really good.
Aren't we having that for lunch today, Jim?
Well, I don't have time today. Tim's right there, everybody. So.
Well, you don't have to make that today. You can have the meal at the senior center, which is the fish tacos, if you've signed up for that. But that one sounds really, really good too. I may have to get a copy of that. We've been, like I said, using all new recipes in our house, from vegetarian, vegan to everything in between, and not just vegetarian, vegan. We got a lot of meat that we're eating, but it is definitely a lot of new cooking. So, anything else that I know you guys had one more thing you wanted to share.
Yeah, one more thing that we're doing. We had intended to really kind of ramp up kind of a home safety visit, but we kind of put the brakes on because of COVID. We kind of want to limit some of our exposure, but we are ending up with some smoke alarms like this. So if some of your seniors have smoke alarms that they're struggling with, they can't get it to stop chirping, or they're too old, we'd love to be able to help out and see if we can find a solution for them as far as getting some replacements for them. So
And
we have a we'll
by
have
too
a
old,
handful
you
of
mean
smoke.
the actual alarm, right? By too old, you mean the alarm.
Yeah, the alarm, right, exactly.
Because they
Yeah.
do have a shelf life, and that's important to realize.
Yeah, they're good for about 10 years. And interestingly, some of the plastic on the smoke alarm is designed to turn yellow if it's too old. So if you see it, if you look at them and like, oh, those are kind of yellow, those might be a little bit too old and they won't function as good.
So you guys will come in and install the new ones?
Yep, we're gonna we have a limited amount, but we would do whatever we could to get them installed so your house is safer than it was.
Which is good because I know a lot of people may have wood stoves or fireplaces that they may rely on a little bit during the winter as well. But anything about space heaters? I mean, I get concerned about those sometimes.
Yeah, the space heaters, as long as they are UL rated and you're keep a safe distance around the element, and then one of the other tips that you'd want to use is not use an extension cord when you're using a space heater. Those are the extension cord and the space heater really is a thing that can really start a fire. So we frown upon the extension cords.
No extension cord. Sounds good. Well, excellent. Thank you. Do you guys have anything else that you want to share or expand on? I mean, you guys are so busy over there, and I know that, for me, it's great to have you on because you guys are a friendly face. When you have to make a call or if you go to a seniors, they now recognize you, which is important. So I love having all of you guys on. We'll have to cycle you all through at some point.
Right.
Of course, that's too many. I think you've got too many over there. Not too many. You have a lot.
Right. Yeah, well, I think the other thing that we've done for you at the senior center is the CPR training, right? So, that's one of the outreach things that we've done. That's been kind of put on the back burner too because of COVID, but I'm sure that once this all, goes away, then we'll probably start that up again.
Great. Great. Well, super. Well,
And
oh,
if
yeah.
they have questions at all, Amy, they can always call us and ask. We're here 24/7, so don't hesitate.
Which is good. I'm glad that you said that because I know often people aren't sure. And unless it's emergency, call in on their main line. I know that you guys pick up and you talk to them and answer questions at any time of day. But if it's an emergency, please remember to use the 911.
That's correct.
Yep.
Great. Well, if you guys have nothing more, unless you want to sit around and chat, we will let you go.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you both being on here.
Sure. Our pleasure.
Thank you very much.
All this talk about cooking leads me to one more recipe that we have. Chef Natalie is doing a sausage kale white cannellini soup. It sounds really good to me. This is soup weather as far as I'm concerned. So if we can fire that one up, that would be great.
Hi everyone. So today I'm going to show you how to make a very simple soup. It's a sausage, kale, white cannellini bean soup. The reason I want to show you this soup is because it requires very few ingredients. It's delicious. It's very soothing. It's not processed, and you can use different sausages. Usually at the senior center, when I cook for you, I use a kielbasa sausage, which I will dice up into very small pieces first. I don't have kielbasa sausage, and I'm trying to avoid running to the store every week. I'm going every 2 weeks, like everyone else. We're trying to not go out. So I'm using a turkey sausage without the casing. So this is what I have right now. So this recipe is flexible in the ingredients. So you can actually use any type of sausage. You can use without the casing. You can use instead of the kale. Now, I know some people cannot eat greens because they're taking their own blood thinner. So instead of the kale, if you can have greens, you can replace it by diced tomatoes. So a can of diced tomatoes would work just as well. And I don't know anybody who has restrictions on the white bean. So again, 3 main ingredients. So I'm going to start cooking my sausage. I'm going to turn on my stove. Here we go, throw in my sausage meat. Again, we want to make sure that we washed our hands properly before starting to cook, at least 20 seconds under hot soapy water. And I'm going to use a spoon to stir it, make sure it cooks nicely. So this type of sausage I found at Wegmans. They sell the sausage without casing already, so it saves you a step. You don't have to take the casing off because it's already done for you. Turn down my heat, it's a little too high. I want it to simmer. Now, I do not add any butter or oil because usually sausage meat contains enough fat, but this is turkey meat, so I'm going to keep an eye to see how it does. It may need a little bit of liquid of some sort, so maybe not necessarily oil, but a little bit of water, which I will add now because it does look like it doesn't have a whole lot of fat content. This is what we're going to do. This is what we have after 5 to 10 minutes on the stove. The meat is almost cooked all the way. That's okay if it's not cooked all the way. I'm going to add my kale. Whoops, without making a mess. It doesn't look like I'm succeeding at that. Now, kale will reduce as it cooks, so I can add it gradually even. There we go. Well, it all fits after all, but it's going to reduce as it cooks. And I'm going to add some water now. We need some water, so here's my water. A little bit more. So I'm gonna add enough water, not all the way to the top. I'm gonna leave 2 inches from the top. I don't want it to be all full because I still need to add my beans at one point. So here we go. This should do. So I think the water is about 2 inches from the top, which is great. Once you've managed to fit all your kale in there, as you can see, it's already reducing. You're just gonna let it simmer and cover it and let it cook for about, I'd say 20 minutes. So let's leave it on. It's time to add the beans. So I'm looking, it's been probably 15 to 20 minutes. The water is boiling. The kale looks almost cooked. So we're gonna add the white cannellini beans now. Here we go. And we're gonna let it simmer for a few more minutes. And we'll check the seasoning then. I decided to add some noodles to my soup. So what I do is once the water is really boiling, has been cooking my kale for a while, I add about half a cup of pasta to the water, so it cooks in there. I added fusillis. They're called fusilli, so they look like this. This is a type of shape, but you can add any type of little pasta that you deem that you have available in your cupboard or that you feel like. Um, so they're almost all cooked. This looks all cooked. So what I'm gonna do now, I want to test the seasoning because again, with sausage, you never know. You might end up with a very salty sausage. You don't need any extra seasoning, or vice versa, such as sausage that needs more seasoning. So let's give it a shot. I have a testing spoon right here. I'm gonna take some of that broth and try it. Watch out, it could be very, very hot. It needs seasoning in my case. So again, what I have on hand is a broth, concentrated broth, and my guess is it just needs about a teaspoon of it. So we'll check again in a few minutes, but here we go. So I've added my broth. Concentrated broth changes the color of your broth instantly. Always change your spoons when you test. Here's another testing spoon. So let's see what we have. Perfect. We checked the seasoning and it's perfect for us. Now, of course, you may make some adjustments depending on the type of sausage you used. Once you feel that it's the right seasoning, you let it simmer for another 10 minutes, and this is what you end up with. It's a beautiful soup. I'm going to stir and show you. So it's got meat, a little bit of pasta, kale, nicely cooked. It's very tasty, and it's ready to serve. So I'm going to be calling my family down to have dinner. Enjoy, and I hope you enjoy it as much as we do. Bon appetit!
Wow. Once again, Natalie hits it out of the park with a recipe that we can all try at home. So I know that we're coming to the end of our show, but I wanted to remind you all to think about your favorite comfort food for next week, but also stay safe. Make sure you're wearing your mask, practicing your social distancing, and always, give us a call if there's anything you need. Call the Senior Center, 508-497-9730. But have a great week, people.